Crimson Desert just dropped a nuclear bomb of information that pretty much changes the entire conversation around open-world RPGs for 2026. Now, for the longest time, we've been sitting here with just trailers and rumors, kind of wondering if this game was actually going to be the real deal, or if it was just another one of those too-good-to-be-true tech demos that vanishes into development hell. But Pearl Abyss just came out swinging. They have officially confirmed that Crimson Desert has gone gold. And for those of you who don't know, going gold means the development is finished, the code is locked, and it is ready for mass production. This isn't a maybe anymore. This isn't a target release window. This is a smoking gun that confirms we are absolutely getting this game very, very soon. Now, the confirmed release date of March 19th, 2026. So yeah, mark your calendars because that is right around the corner. We are talking less than 2 months away. It's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And interestingly enough, they even mentioned Mac support, which is kind of wild for a AAA game of this scale, but hey, the more players the better, right? But the biggest news here isn't just the date, it's the sheer scale of what they are promising. Now, we knew the game was going to be big, but the developers have come out and claimed that the map size of Crimson Desert is at least twice the size of Skyrim. And if that wasn't enough to get your attention, they also stated it is larger than the map of Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, let that sink in for a second. Red Dead 2 is arguably the most detailed, massive open world we have ever seen. For a studio to come out and say, yeah, ours is bigger, that is a colossal claim. It's bold, and honestly, it has me all the more excited, but also a little bit skeptical because, bigger isn't always better if the world is empty. However, from what we've seen and what the insiders are saying, this isn't just empty space. They've built their own proprietary engine called the BlackSpace Engine, specifically to handle this massive scale with high interaction. So we're talking about a world where you can destroy buildings. You can use elemental abilities to manipulate the environment. It's not just a static backdrop, it's a physics-based playground. And that right there is where things start to get really interesting. Now, let's dive into the gameplay, because this is where it feels like a match made in heaven for anyone who loves chaotic sandbox fun. The variety of mechanics they're throwing into this game is actually insane. You have your standard medieval combat with swords and axes, sure, but then you have wrestling moves. Like, I'm not joking, you can literally perform suplexes and stone-cold stunners on enemies. It's this weird mix of gritty fantasy and over-the-top arcade action that somehow looks incredible. And then there's the traversal. We've seen the protagonist, Cliff, climbing giant trees, exploring floating sky islands, and using magical portals to warp around. It gives me serious Zelda Tears of the Kingdom vibes with that verticality. And usually when a game tries to do everything, it ends up doing nothing well. But here, it looks like they are actually pulling it off. You can hijack horse-drawn wagons like it's Grand Theft Auto Medieval Edition. You can fish, hunt, cook, and even pet the dogs and cats. It's like they looked at every popular open-world game of the last decade and said, yes, we'll take all of that. So you're probably wondering, what about the mounts? Well, this is where it gets even crazier. You obviously have horses, and there's a mechanic called horse drifting. Yeah, you heard that right. You can power slide your horse. But why stop there? You can ride bears, and confirmed you can tame and ride dragons. Like full-on how to train your dragon style flight. You can grab onto a dragon mid-air, fight it, tame it, and then use it to rain fire down on your enemies. If that's not the definition of an expanded and enhanced fantasy experience, I don't know what is. But with all of this hype, we have to address the technical side of things. And this is where you have to kind of put your tinfoil hat on for a bit. The developers are claiming that this new BlackSpace Engine will allow for native 4K resolution at 60 frames per second on current generation consoles. Now, I want to believe them, I really do, but as someone who follows this tech closely, that is a massive promise. Most games struggle to hit a stable 60 frames per second at 1440p, let alone native 4K. So it raises the obvious question, can they actually deliver on that performance? Or is this another case where the target is 60 frames, but the reality is a shaky 45? I mean, we saw what happened with other ambitious launches, but if they can actually pull off a stable 60 frames per second mode with a world larger than Red Dead Redemption, then this will be a massive win for gamers. It would essentially set a new benchmark for what the PS5 and Series X can do. Now, beyond the performance, there's a crime and reputation system that sounds very similar to the Wanted system in Rockstar games. If you mess around in towns, attack guards, or cause chaos, the world reacts. You get bounties on your head, factions will hunt you down. This suggests a level of AI complexity that we don't usually see in these types of fantasy RPGs. Usually, the NPCs are just kind of there to give you quests, but here it seems like they are trying to create a living, breathing simulation. And honestly, that's why the Red Dead Redemption 2 comparisons keep coming up. It's not just the size, it's the attempt at immersion. They want you to feel like you are living in this world, not just playing through it. Whether it's the day and night cycles, the weather systems, or just the way the NPCs react to you, it's all aiming for that high-fidelity experience. So, yeah, looking at the timeline, the game was originally supposed to drop in late 2025. They delayed it to March 2026 for polish, which, in my opinion, is always a good thing. I'd rather wait a few extra months for a finished product than get a buggy mess at launch. And the fact that they've already gone gold suggests that they are confident in the state of the game. They aren't scrambling to finish it, they're likely just working on the day one patch and optimizing things. Now, one hope that I do have is that the console versions, specifically for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, launch in a solid state. We've been burned before by PC-focused developers treating consoles as an afterthought. But given that they are launching globally on all platforms at the same time, it seems like they are prioritizing parity. And with the PS5 Pro now available, I'm really curious to see if there will be specific enhancements for that console. Like, imagine ray-traced global illumination on a world this big. It would look incredible. There is also the narrative aspect. You play as Cliff, a mercenary leader, and there's a fixed story. This isn't like Black Desert Online where you create a silent protagonist. This is a single-player, narrative-driven action-adventure. You have a backstory, you have relationships, and you have to make choices. They've hinted at themes of betrayal and revenge, which, is classic fantasy stuff, but if executed well, it could be really gripping. So, when you combine the massive map, the insane variety of gameplay mechanics, the dragon riding, and the promise of high-performance visuals, Crimson Desert is shaping up to be the first real next-gen feeling RPG. Like, we've had good games, but nothing that has truly pushed the envelope in terms of scale and interactivity quite like this promises. But again, until we have the game in our hands, we have to remain a little bit cautious. Marketing is marketing. Smoke and mirrors are a real thing in this industry. But the fact that they are showing so much raw gameplay and the fact that the release date is locked in gives me a lot of hope. And honestly, with GTA 6 not coming until late 2026 or beyond, we need a game like this to fill that void. We need a massive open world to get lost in. And if Pearl Abyss can deliver even half of what they are promising, this game is going to be huge. It could easily be a Game of the Year contender. So, with that being said, the wait is almost over. March 19th is the day. I am definitely going to be diving into this on day one, probably on the PS5 Pro to see how it handles all that chaos. I'm hoping for the best, expecting a few bugs, but overall, I think we are in for a treat. But that's going to wrap it up with this video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section. Do you believe the hype about the map size? Are you skeptical about the 4K 60 frames per second claims? Let me know down below. Like the video, subscribe if you know what he's on, and until next time, this has been Tuzo, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.